Let me re-echo this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's statement, which he says, "A time shall come when the Biafra, in bracket, the Igbos or Igbo nation, will not pay any media house to broadcast Biafra news." Anyway, here comes another new TV station. You can call it TV station, radio house, or whatever you may choose to call it. You have entered the call for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, let me just read the article before me here. Then then I will come back to digest the message to the best of my knowledge and to a layman's understanding. A press briefing. That is what I've been reading here. Protest for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release gains international attention as Radio France interviews Ohaneze Youth Council President Comrade Igbo Ayaka. My brother. Bola Ahmed Tinubu may drag Nigeria into a civil war or violence revolution, because now they don't tie their ear, tie their nose, tie everything. Very soon, Emmanuel Macron is going to leave him and be doing business with the Biafrans, because as it stands now, Nigeria is a goner. In fact, far and ago, Nigeria is gone, and it's gone forever. I saw one article where Oba of Benin is even ready to step down from his throne because of the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And some people might think and say, why must he make such a comment? My brother, it have gotten to extent where every Dick and Harry, every Tom and Jerry is calling for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. But let me also make this comment to you, because as on there was I was listening to Barrister Darlington on Voice of the People, and also Mr. Chilaka. They are all analysts on that very station. And Barrister Darlington make one comment, and I will not hesitate to also repeat that comment. He said, and I quote, "Let it not be that something has happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because the rate people are calling for his release." He used Abiola to make comparison that when when they have already concluded the buying of Abiola, then everybody, including the enemies of Abiola, everybody was circling, calling for Abiola's release. It not up to 24 hours, all these people started to Abiola give up the ghost. And when Abiola died, that is when the zoo, which is this present zoo government, came out and said they have already concluded arrangement, and even the release documents have been signed to release Abiola tomorrow, and Abiola died today. Let it not be the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because the rate prominent men, the other day it was Sultan of Sokoto. Now the Oba of Benin have joined the call for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu release. Now another one again is Radio France is now interviewing one of us. Let me put it that way. Igbo Ayaka, which is Ohaneze Ndiberi president, youth president. What is really happening? Does they try? I don't understand. Please, you can help me as well, because we are here to a kind of rub minds together. This one is not a pro news, though. This one is real news that we all need to deliberate on. What is really happening? They are calling for France. They are calling for Europe. They are calling for America. They are calling for Nigeria. From Northerners, every section now is calling for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, including blind people now have joined the protest for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to release. My people, Bikono, what is really happening? I didn't say it is bad to call his release, though. I didn't say it is not good, though. But Biko, Kaiche na many, because I saw Kokeja Tuta if I na many. And Kaeworo Kita way to wada yawa way uoje before Chejinariani. Zoo knows the consequences of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's buying in their custody. Nnamdi Kanu made a comment. Let me also remind us. He said, and I quote, that the government of the zoo is waiting when his life remain only one bar, so that they will just free him for him to go out there and die in peace. Is that what we are really looking for? Are we looking at that? Anyway, let me read this interview, please, so that it will not be like I don't talk too much, because some people complain that I talk too much. The Ohanaeze Youth Council, the foremost socio-cultural youth organization of Igbo youths worldwide, has granted a sweeping international interview to Radio France International concerning the forthcoming nationwide release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, led by Comrade Omoyele Sowore, slated for Abuja, according to the information. Addressing a press gathering which happened on the 19th day of October 2025, National President Comrade Igboayaka revealed that prominent French journalist Ms. Christiana Okelo made inquiries over the weekend regarding the catalyst for the protest and its expected results. In response to the question from the French journalist Comrade Igboayaka, that justice appears to have taken on a tribal dimension in Nigeria, thereby making the pursuit of justice in the Nigerian justice system contingent upon an individual's tribe and political affiliation. The continued imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu at the DSS dungeon since 2021 and his trial since 2015 are clearly not based on any wrongdoing or crime, but rather an obvious prejudice against his own tribe. Given the significance of the court case between Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, and the federal government, it is crucial that the world directs its satellite attention to Nigeria, especially on October 20th, 2025, which tagged release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu nationwide protest and monitor the most Nigeria peaceful protest led by Comrade Omoyele Sowore and the tyrannical behavior exhibited by Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. The legal battle between Nnamdi Kanu and the Fulani government is not primarily concerned with charges of terrorism, but rather the Fulani government's fear of losing control over the oil-rich Igbo territory, as revealed by Comrade Igboayaka. In a conversation with a French journalist, Comrade Igboayaka posited that the British government, which reaps significant financial rewards from the Nigeria's natural resources, is the primary instigator of the attempt to suppress the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and its leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has been marked by significant human rights abuse in Nigeria, including threat to freedom of speech, constraint on freedom of assembly, and issues surrounding executive rascality and judicial impunity, ultimately casting doubts on Nigeria's reputation as a stable and functioning democracy within Africa and beyond. As Nigeria teeters on the brink of collapse, with all the hallmarks of a failed state, Comrade Igboayaka warned while speaking to the French journalist Ms. Christiana Okelo that the Bola Ahmed Tinubu approach to Nnamdi Kanu's case may inevitably lead Nigeria down the path of civil war or violent revolution. Comrade Igboayaka disclosed that the injustice perpetrated against the Igbos in Nigeria, as well as the unlawful trial and detention of Nnamdi Kanu for 4 good years, compelled Nigerians to organize a nationwide protest led by former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, Comrade Omoyele Sowore. Comrade Igboayaka concluded that if justified marginalization and victimization against Ndigbo persist, Nigeria's disintegration is unavoidable, prompting Ndigbo to adapt self-preservation measures as necessary. Ndigbo, with all alacrity, should demonstrate their strong displeasure against injustice and marginalization by staging a total lockdown of shops, business areas, offices, companies, and parks across 36 states in Nigeria on October 20th in a free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu protest that will shock the whole world. A message well sent. Igboayaka, let me also direct you, because you see, sometimes when we are granting this kind of interview, let us ask questions from people who have direct information on what is happening on the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. First, you miss that step. to let the whole world know, because I know the world is aware, but at least Radio France, if this kind of things you enter their ear, it will also help us in what we have been fighting for. That this guy they are trying was abducted. In fact, the international law was violated. His human rights law was violated. His rights as a human being was trampled upon. His rights as a living being was also trampled upon. You didn't let them know about all these things, because these are the facts and figures they want to hold hand, not whether they are doing protest or not protest. If they like, everybody can protest, but let all these key points. Kidnapping, extraordinary rendition is an international law which Nigeria is a signatory to, and they violated it. Let them know this now. You have the opportunity to bring all this case to the limelight. Rather, you choose to gaslight some people. Anyway, you have done well by granting that interview, but at least it is a step towards where we are going, or where we are heading to, or what we are fighting for. Thank God for you, and having this opportunity. I don't know whether this interview, because it was not noted here, whether this interview was held right here in Nigeria or in France, because I could remember you were abducted the same way they abducted Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They abducted you from Imo State and forcefully taking you to your own state, which is Ebonyi State, by Francis Nwefuru, simply because you shouted and cried to the public about the killings going on in your own state. You warned the governor that there's a plan to attack those people, and he didn't do anything. When they attacked, you raised alarm that you warned him. He come and got you arrested. In fact, he come and abduct you from Owerri. For days, they were looking for you. All the whole police station in Owerri was asked. Even the so-called governor come out and say they have no hand in the disappearance of this guy. Later on, it was traced that his henchmen are the one who came to Owerri in your residence and abducted you. So maybe after they free you, they give you a warning not to stay in Nigeria again. Maybe you run to France. But I don't know where this interview was held. But anyway, let it be the way it is. Let us just dissect the comment section a little bit, then we'll round up this show. Ephraim Carlo said the truth we need is to open our eyes as Igbos, as Ndi Igbo. The indigenous people who are particularly concerned in this very matter. Sowore is Yoruba, Tinubu is Yoruba, Atiku, who has also lent his voice on releasing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from prison, is another Fulani. None of it truly captures the deep issues here. We want our own nation. Ultimately, that is what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu Onyendu is standing for, with his life as a bargain, if need be. Wisdom is that we can't let this become another Nigeria political mess that ends at nothing like the EndSARS. Point number 1. We didn't start it, but we must begin to put the strategy for achieving our end through these protests. Objective: make impact that sends a warning that there will be a consequence should the unlawful and intimidating actions across Igbo continue. If a lady does not behave like a mad person, she may not get married, our people say. If sanity, violence, self-defense, or anything to help to demonstrate that consequences awaits every damage to our people, then that is the language. Ephraim, the same Ephraim said, I was surprised to hear, if correct, that Mazi Simon Ekpa is a free man now. That is what we are hearing. But my lesson from this is that what we call Nigeria is a business empire run by Britain, allied countries, politicians who are under heavy sponsorship. The message is already let out. Igbo ethnicity want to leave Nigeria. If this happens, Biafra and their allies will lose their composure, or maybe lose their composition. Listen to me. Once a dangerous economic tsunami hits UK like it is hammering France right now, I bet you Scotland, Ireland, Wales may start protesting to leave the UK. I am going somewhere. I am trying to say that it is a dire matter to Britain for Biafra to exit Nigeria that may see the end of their oil and other materials exploitation of Nigeria, and that will affect their allies like France and the US. So we are up against a host of dangerously positioned, high-staking power and enemies. Only of recent did I come to understanding that world politics is a huge game that must be approached like a war of life and death. Negotiation options. Let me make it clear. The US, UK, and France all know why them and the ICC have remained silent and withdrawn from this matter. It is all about their own self-interest. We can we can mount serious pressure that force them to negotiate so that their name is not deeply smeared in wrong propaganda. Further, the heat is gathering. We need to blow it up. Pointer, let us reach out to other African kings and presidents, particularly those who are supporting justice, and show personal concerns that Nnamdi Kanu must have justice. Kenya is at the center of a winning negotiation that will broaden and thicken our freedom advocacy. Let's gain ground with many fellow African countries. Fortunately, the youth of most African countries already know and are waiting for a little handshake for them to act in our favor. I am certain that the governors of Igbo, the 5 regional states, are already getting the signal that the youth are in the know that they are complicit in the wrong game of holding Nnamdi Kanu to ransom. Their bargain is to deliver their states to APC and Tinubu, and they will return governorship post the next term. Because winning election is by selection, not elections. Okay, those who have got the akonuche that politicians are merely channels of running the empire business know that no politicians, president, governor, minister, or a chairman of the local government can give you good governors, have completely cut off from flurry of one Nigeria clamor against marginalization, seeking equity. Sowore is a Yoruba man. Some measures of his blood still believe that Nigeria can work. If this, if that. Ndia, Wandiara. Once the foundation of anything is wrong, or as Evo proposes, as Nigeria was created, it is an impossibility to make it work. I wonder at those who use the word nation to describe Nigeria, and they are educated. Really? Oh my goodness. Anyway, my people, here we go take a break, and I can have a voice again when we come back. Make sure that this message goes viral, that our matter don't reach Radio France, even if they are part of our enemies, but at least they can be able to tell the other rest of other Europes what is really happening in that country called Nigeria. So have a nice day, and may the good Lord continue to bless us all, the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Kachineke mezioku, kemesiana, wonderful people.